Welcome back to the No Judge Necessary podcast, where we got the opinions like DC, we're crazy like Gaethje, and we're as high as O'Malley. We're the podcast for fight fans that want to see fists fly and don't want to wait on the judges. I'm your host, Brick, and as always, my cornerman, Nil, and Matty P. How we doing, boys?
We're living.
Coming off a good week of fights, man. That's all I know.
Big week of fights. And I usually let y'all get into it right off the bat, but I got something I got to say. So, luckily this week, we did free Britney. Congratulations, after 14 years, Britney Spears is free from her conservatorship, but we need to turn our efforts elsewhere. We now need to free Patty the Batty. He has now been suspended by Twitter. Those lizards fucking got him off there. This is bullshit. Instagram already came at him. I don't know what it is. They're trying to repress the biggest star in the UFC. This is bullshit. I will not sleep. I will not rest.
They're sausages.
It's bloody mad, mate. It's bloody mad.
These fucking idiots. Why would you suspend a guy?
Yeah.
Do we know what he got suspended for?
I tried to do some research. The best I found in the comments was that he doxed someone who was like trolling him or something, or like released someone's DMs or something, but I don't have any real proof or exact evidence of what happened. But all I know is them lizards, Jack, we're coming for you.
The only thing that should be banned out there is their food.
Real talk.
Their
And they
cuisine looks fucking terrible.
Absolutely.
It's not as poop as you think. Liverpool got some fire food, as someone who's been there.
Yeah, at this point, I now want to eat scouse. It's kind of like this like stew that they eat, and that's where the word like scouser comes from.
I've seen somebody at a soccer game. They're like, "This is the fucking ham and cheese sandwich I got," and it was all burnt and shitty.
Yo, I think that's Wigan Athletic. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They put it on this long ass roll and they just burn the fuck out of it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yo, why?
Like someone's gonna roll a blunt or something.
Yeah, literally. And also it was just
Why
it
did
just
he
looked
say
like it was
this,
just
dude?
bread. Like it looked like there was no real shits in it. Like
So how do you
It was
fuck up
just
a
like-
ham and cheese sandwich?
I don't know, you put it under a fire. Like you cook it on a goddamn campfire. But just had to get that off had to get it off my chest. All efforts to freeing Patty the Batty. He'll be back. I hope he doesn't have to restart his account like he did with Instagram. But there's no way you can stop Patty. Patty is an unstoppable force. So Instagram, the UFC, Twitter, anybody in his way, he's not going to be stopped. You can't fucking do it. He's going to be on top. He's going to be the champ. So these lizards got to figure the fuck out.
I don't know about the champ, but we'll see.
We'll see what he can do.
King of the
It's that
world.
one fight. We'll see.
That's the vision.
But definitely. But speaking of some champs and some great fights, you want to get into last week?
No, I want to call somebody out. That's what I want to do.
Good.
I want to fight somebody on Rough and Rowdy. Phil, the MMA dude, is top on the list. Fuck this guy. I want to snuff him in the mouth. If anyone knows him, sign it up. I'll fight anyone who's going to show up on fight night at 175 pounds. I'll walk around at 145. I'd probably fight at 150. I will want to throw hands so bad. I will fight anyone 170. Don't give a fuck. If you knock me out, knock me out. Let's do it. I just want to throw hands on
I
like
feel
half
like you
these
gotta be a
stage.
little more of a crazy redneck guy. You gotta like take your shirt off in a parking lot, throw some Burger King.
That'll come. That'll come.
That'll get there.
Beat your chest, and then you may get on there. Have a
Why
sip
can't I-
out of your mouth.
Why
Some
can't I
bad
use this?
tattoos.
Why can't I use
Get
this
some
to start
Sam
my
Alvey
career?
tattoos.
Now we're talking. But anyone out there that wants to fight Nil, let's hit us up on Twitter. Let's fucking get Nil
Let's
on
make
Rough
it
and
happen.
Rowdy. I'm all in on this. I'll big be in your corner. Let's go. Now can we get into last week?
Yeah, let's hop into it.
Let's do it, my guy. Whew, where do we start on this card?
Let me pull it up.
I mean, I think we start. The first three fights were good and everything. I kind of boofed everybody, telling them that one fight was definitely not going the distance, and of course it did. But let's start with Chris Barnett, bro.
Yeah,
Let's
for
do it.
real. That
Hot
was just
dog
last
fight.
week, fam?
Yes,
The hot
sir.
dog fight was really last
No,
week.
that was only just last week, blood.
Yep.
Chris Barnett is a Francis Ngannou vacated the title because he saw that.
Yeah. I mean, the greatest heavyweight of all time. I mean, this guy is a national treasure. Like, we got to protect Chris Barnett. I mean, just the fact that he gave us that gift of the flip, I will forever be indebted to him. I will use that gift forever.
I mean, crazy. A guy of his size
involved on that flip. That couldn't have been painless.
Oh, there's a lot of force in that. Like, I'm not a huge, math guy, but mass times acceleration. There was a lot of acceleration on the rotation, and there was a lot of mass.
This guy's just impressive because when you look at him, it's like Vince Wilfork. It's just a big, barley, fat dude. And he came through with a spinning heel kick. Like, where are we talking? You don't see these at heavyweights with the guys in shape, let alone a guy who's out of shape. I mean, but he's still in, fight shape. He still brings it. I love that we called it fight. I don't know where he goes from here, but I think he's going to be like a highlight reel guy for the rest of his life. And I'm all for it. I am all for it.
Oh, yeah. How high up in the rankings he gets, I think he's just going to have fun fights. Like, where Tai Tuivasa was, 2-3 fights ago. Where it's like, where's he going? I don't know, but I'm going to watch it.
Yo, you just lined up the next fight. Ty just got hurt. This shit just happened. Like, what?
Ty just got pulled, didn't he?
Yeah. You literally just lined it up, bro. That's the next fight I want to see.
Has to be. I mean, I thought Ty might get a little higher than rankings.
The hot dog? What are we doing?
Big in. And then right after that, my guy, Ian fucking Gary.
He was getting
this Irishman is
2 minutes. So I was like, oh shit. What? Jordan's about to knock him out. And then he slipped, countered beautifully.
Yep. Pull counter. I mean, all-time move. It's been around for ages. It's not like he reinvented the wheel, but to still pull it off a couple minutes into your UFC debut, impressive. But I don't know where this puts him because you were kind of getting peace for a little bit. So I don't have much to read on this cat, to be honest.
Yeah, but honestly, in a weird way,
the division eats him alive. To be honest, if they give him someone too heavy next, I mean, think about it. 170, you got someone deep in the rankings like a Max Griffin. Max Griffin, I think, eats him alive, personally.
Yeah, but I think it's a bit of a learning experience, and it at least shows me he has a chin and he can take a shot. Because some of these big favorite hype guys, we see them get an early knockout and they never actually get hit, and we're like, we don't really know what they are. So he's got to definitely clean up the defense. That's no doubt. But young ass fighter, I think it's going to be a bit of a lesson for him and good to learn some lessons.
450 guys, round one. What's this KO? I don't know. There's a lot of question marks on this cat. But ultimately, it's at the end of the day, it's about wins, and he got a knockout. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On the records, it just shows a first-round knockout.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 2 years from now, we're not going to remember, oh, shit, he pieced him. I remember that.
Yeah, remember he got a knockout in his debut? All you'll see is the quick video on Twitter kind of thing. No one will remember it. So he'll be good. Someone that I would love to see him fight down the road. I think he's got, obviously, a few fights at that 170 before he gets there. But him versus Sean Brady would be very interesting to me.
Brady?
Yeah.
Brady would. Gone.
I don't know. I'm high on this cat. I think he's got room to grow. I think he's got some power.
Yeah, bro. You're definitely high off this shit, bro. The fuck he's smoking? Let me get some of that. Yeah. For real, man. You're about to get put in a split with this tape.
We'll see.
Next fight, though. Nasruddin Imavov beating out Edmund Shabazian. That was fucking impressive.
Big impressive.
That was like he owed him some money, man. That was ugly.
Yeah, he stole his bike and he was finna get it back.
Imavov is a real fucking problem. I think he's going to be someone we're talking about in the top 5, maybe. I mean, he showed that he can really strike with anybody. He was pressing. I feel like his grappling defense is good just because he's one of those like Russian dudes.
Yeah. He's definitely got and he's got good defensive wrestling. I don't know how good his offensive is going to be, but definitely enough to keep people off it. He is French, but I believe he's of Russian descent.
The Russian sniper.
Yeah. But I just love looking at these standings right here because he just showed that he's an exciting electric fighter and can kind of beat the shit out of hopefully anyone. I mean, the next guys in front of him, Brad Tavares, Kevin Gastelum, Darren Till, Uriah Hall. Give me any of Tavares, Gastelum, or Till. Sean Strickland might be a bit of a jump up, but that's going to be a war out of pretty much anyone up to Paulo Costa.
Yeah, no, and I almost like his odds for a lot of them too.
Right? He's in that fight.
He's precise as hell, and I think he's fucking money. He just looks so sharp in there. He reminds me of a Peter Yan type, where it's just he's going to beat your ass eventually. He's just stalking them until he does.
Right. And yeah, I think that's something that almost gets overlooked because everyone looks at power. I think precision and speed is what kills. You know what I mean? And that's right. And that's where it's
power and precision beats speed.
Exactly. And it's one of those, he obviously doesn't have the volume of a guy like a Justin Gaethje, but that calmness and chaos, where it's you look like he's in a firefight, but everything is so controlled and calculated.
Exactly.
But I'm excited for this.
And he seems well-rounded. He got, elbows from crucifix. He's not just a stand and trade guy, so sky's the limit for Imavov.
Right.
We had Chris Curtis knock out Phil Hawes in round 1 of the next fight. What were your thoughts on this one?
He was getting his ass handed to him. I was like, oh, shit. Next time Phil Hawes fights, I'm betting on him. I'm betting on him because he looked fucking phenomenal. But I could tell as Curtis was, weathering the storm, I had a weird gut feeling on this one. It didn't make sense on paper. I called it. It made sense. Hawes is a beast, but it just was there's too good of – I said the stories never happen. This was one of the stories, I don't know, I had a gut feeling it was going to happen. He had fought through so much adversity, finally got his shot. It's at Madison Square Garden. I could just see him going like this. I don't know. That's what sold me on it. And I'm glad to see it.
I got to say, gambling-wise, this was probably my brightest spot. I gave up Chris Curtis plus 265 on Twitter, and I was running up the score on this one because I had no business in hitting it, and we hit it. And like you said, you look up the top up.
2 minutes, I'm like,
But you look at the Tapology, first round knockout, cash the money, run the fuck
looks
to
like
the
he
hills.
dominated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it does.
Nothing else really on that one.
Speaking of dominated, the next fucking fight, man. Bobby Green.
Yo, shit.
Out of Al. What the hell?
Can I personally apologize? I have been a horrible, horrible Bobby Green fan. This guy has given me nothing but entertainment, especially in one of our toughest years of 2020. He's a great fighter. I love this guy. And for some reason, I'm an asshole and start betting against him. And then he does things like this. I am an asshole. Bobby Green is great. That's it. Gets raised down.
This is all he does is just dust these kind of dudes. And we just bet against them every time and be like, nah, not today, man. And then it's oh, it is today. He's better than them.
Well, it's just 100%. I thought Al, he's a tough motherfucker. I thought they're for sure going the distance. I was well, fuck me.
That was my lock of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, here's a great fight, though. Let's see Bobby Green versus Dan Hooker.
I'm in. Why not?
That seems
fuck the rankings,
amazing.
fuck anything.
Bobby Green's earned it. Dan Hooker needs someone who's going to not wrestle. Let's go.
Yeah, why not? That's one of those that, I don't care about rankings, records, this, that, the other.
That's a good fight.
Let's just bang.
Sign me up.
That's a scrap. A scrap and a half.
I'm big in on that. Then we had a flying knee from some people on Twitter, a guy that they're anointing king already or something. We got Alex Pereira getting a knockout Not his most noteworthy knockout he's ever had, but probably second now.
Well, and
Yeah,
it's
I mean-
impressive to see him weather the grappling storm. I mean, obviously, the dude he fought, I can never pronounce that guy's name. Obviously, he's not known to be one of the best in the division, but to have somebody try to grapple you and you get out of that is pretty impressive. Like, I don't know if he could get out. I think Brunson would be a problem possibly for Pereira, but those hands, bro, that kickboxing is just top notch, and everyone knows.
It's real.
And he set up a flying knee. So perfect. And it's like you said, he weathered the storm of grappling. He survived some bad scenarios, some bad spots in the first round, and he came out and was like, I'm going to take the fight to him. I'm not going to let him dictate and bring me back to the ground. And so he throws a flying knee. The guy shoots his head down a little bit.
And you know what? I got to respect that a lot, too, where I think sometimes when we get these, like, kickboxing or Muay Thai or, striking discipline type fighters, and they come in and someone's going to try to grapple them and stuff, they sort of try to fight from the outside because they don't want to, obviously give out the hips. But I kind of like this approach of just like, you know what? All right, I'll figure out in the first round. All right, I can handle this. I'm coming at you now. I did like how Neil said, just bring the fight to him. Like, I think that's going to be a calculated but a more aggressive strategy out of some of these strikers, because these wrestlers or grapplers, they don't want to fight off the back foot.
No, it's hard to wrestle off your back foot. It's impossible.
It's like, so the dude he fought isn't ranked, but I think you can kind of get this guy jumped up a little bit. I think I wouldn't want to do this to him, but Shabazian may be a good next step.
That makes perfect sense, honestly.
Shabazian needs a kickboxing match. He needs a match where someone's not going to grab him.
Yeah.
You don't want this kickboxing match.
No, not at all. But that makes perfect sense because, hey, Edmund, you had the height.
Yo,
you just almost got knocked out of the rankings and left you at 15.
Edmund Shabazian will not win another fight in the UFC.
Ouch.
He's going to lose like 2 to 3 more and get cut.
Yeah.
He's on what? Like
3.
He's so young. That's the thing.
Don't care. They're going to cut him and say we'll bring him back once he proves it again.
Second stint maybe, but
yeah.
I mean, like I was saying,
that's Imavov. 2 more. You lose 5 straight fights in the UFC after just 2 wins?
Unless you're
3 wins? Yeah, I mean, shit, bud.
True.
I don't know. It's just hard for me to think
that honestly makes a perfect sense because I was trying to think how they were going to do that because obviously we know what the UFC is going to try to do. They signed Pereira and they want to get him as close to Izzy as quickly as possible because they don't want to fuck around with this guy in the back end of the rankings. I don't even think they really, unless he's with the shits, they don't want to deal with him. You know what I mean?
I can see a Tavares too. I could see Brad Tavares fight for some reason.
I was almost going to say, if you really want to accelerate it, Chris Weidman. That's the way you do it because it's the biggest name.
Getting back on his feet.
I know. I don't know if he's healthy yet. That's kind of what I thought.
Why wouldn't it be a problem for Pereira, I think?
Oh, yeah. No, but that's kind of like one of those. I think that's the UFC's way of saying sink or swim. We're going to give you an aggressive veteran, and are you fucking with the shits or not?
Because Chris Weidman probably believes he's got one more run to the belt. Like, he's probably thinking, I got one last stint in me. So if I come out and fucking wrestle the shit out of this kickboxer and dominate him,
right,
and
on the flip side,
hit off his name,
if he beats the guy that's beating Izzy, that stakes the claim for the one more title run. Hey, I beat your fucking bull. I beat the guy who beat you. I'm coming for your belt. I'll see you soon. You know. So I don't hate that. Next fight, what do we have?
We had Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler.
And
I mean, honestly,
if we're talking to somebody who didn't watch the card, they're listening, turn this off and go watch that fight. I don't care what you have to do to see it. Just go
correct.
And go on YouTube, stream it, go buy the card. Just go watch this fucking fight. It was each second I'm like, didn't even have money on it. Tripping. Edge of my seat, sweating, everything.
Yeah.
You guys keep going on it.
Oh yeah, anything we can say will not do this fight justice. One thing I did kind of want to get into before we actually break down the fight, but the fight placement. Did y'all like the fact that it was the first fight on the card?
No.
I thought I would, but I ended up hating it because the next fight was amazing, and I was just like, I needed a break.
100%. I couldn't agree more. Like we
The next
broke it
fight
down on
was
the pod.
doomed.
Yeah, and it
Dude.
sucks. And honestly, if they flipped them, because you know, and I mean, I don't really care if we go out of order here, but Shane Burgos versus Billy Q is the most underrated fight of the year. That was a fucking banger. But everyone was in that fucking post-nut fucking, hey, I need a cigarette type mode after that Gaethje Chandler fight. And the crowd was silent. Like, no one could, deal with what was coming next. And I even kind of was thinking it from the jump. Shane Burgos, Billy Q should have been the first fight. I knew that would be a banger. And it's one of those that, like, if you know, you know. And even if you didn't, if you're a fan to the UFC who buys, a few cards a year, or you're at your buddy's house who has a big fight card on, and those two go in the cage, even if you don't know them, that's going to get you excited for the card. But it's not going to fucking spend your whole energy like it did with Gaethje Chandler. But
my thoughts on Gaethje Chandler was, I can't say this with 100%, but I personally think Chandler didn't want to win the fight. He just wanted to put on a good show. You can't sit here and tell me that a guy with the wrestling pedigree of Michael Chandler, his game and his power, and his game plan was to just walk forward with his hands down against Justin Gaethje. That can't be the best game plan.
right.
And that seemed to be most of what he did.
And Gaethje, he tried a couple takedowns, and Gaethje stuffed him, and he flipped out of that one. There were probably,
I don't know.
takedown attempts. How many were there? Let me see.
Probably 3 or 4.
6 takedowns. He tried 6
It was 6.
takedowns.
Wow.
Okay.
So,
And maybe I'm tripping, but
a little bit. He improved and showed that, hey, I'm not just, hey, you try to take me down, there's going to be problems. But I think
Right.
he did play the Gaethje's game, and I think it was a win-win for Chandler, how I see it, because he gained a lot of fucking fans that night.
That's kind of what I've been sort of thinking on this one.
But I don't know. It just felt, and maybe I'm tripping. I felt the vibes that he wasn't.
I was thinking the same thing,
show.
And I don't know if you can do this because it's a dangerous fucking sport to not just have like the best game plan to win. But I actually was thinking a lot about this, where if you think of it from Chandler's perspective, he came into the UFC, everyone kind of hated where he was already put because of, his pedigree in Bellator that people don't respect and this and that. Beats Hooker, who everyone loves, and then gets a title shot that a lot of people thought was too early and undeserved. So you're not winning a lot of fans off that.
Only the
So would you rather, right? So would you rather find a way to win grindily and grappling and just whatever you got to do to beat Gaethje, have everyone still hate you, get another title shot that people say is undeserved, or go to an absolute war with one of the legends of the sport, turn it into one of the greatest fights all time that would probably do more for your legacy than that title shot would do, and then just accept the fact that, hey, I'm going to be in this mix, and I understand what this division is, and hey, let's run the gauntlet and see where I go. Now with some supporters.
But you play to win the game.
Fights alone can get inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's a Hall of Fame fight right there. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame of the UFC from that fight. He gained a shit ton of fans. And if you go back and watch Chandler's fights, he does kind of slug it out. I mean, he does wrestle, but he has power, and he really tries to throw that fucking thing. So it wasn't too uncharacteristic, but I see why you wouldn't fight a Gaethje fight against Gaethje.
Yeah, that just seems like a terrible idea. It did kind of remind me a little bit of the second Pitbull fight. That one, they kind of didn't really wrestle, and they just kind of stood in the middle. But, I mean, again, Gaethje, I think, might be the best fighter in a phone booth we have. Like, he is so precise and calculated while, like, a nuclear bomb is going off. Like, when he retires, assuming not too much brain damage, like, he's the kind of guy I want in, like, I don't know, some big like military position, because when the firefight's going on, that dude is so calm and just like in his world. But
let's move on. We got a lot of recaps.
Yeah, we got a lot to go. What
Burgos
else
and
do you
Billy
have?
Q, man. I mean,
Burgos and Billy Q.
Yeah, I pretty much talked about
how much of a banger that fight is. It got kind of boofed because of the Gaethje Chandler, but shouts out. I mean, Burgos won. I thought he won that decision. It was pretty clear,
Right.
2 rounds to me. But shout out fucking Billy Q. His leg was basically in half, and he's just plotting on it, still going, would not stop. Bro, I already liked Billy Q. I didn't think I could like him much more, and I love him a ton more because of that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I already have it clipped from the last podcast. I will go to hell for Billy Q. I will ride with this dude. And I'm glad that he just had a chance to prove it to the world, because I knew he was this kind of guy. I knew he had it in him. Again, I don't know. And these are the kind of dudes who I will like truly, truly love in the sport. You know, he kind of gives me a little, it's not the same fighter, but it's similar heart. Clay Guida, you know, where it's like, yeah, will he ever get that belt? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? He cleans up the skills a little bit. He gets a little more technical. Who knows? The sky's the limit. But that heart, that scrap, you will never step into the cage with Billy Q. I don't give a fuck who you are and not have a hard night in the office.
No.
Here's the thing. I noticed with
he's
Billy
a tough out for
Q,
anybody.
The thing I noticed about Billy Q, he's so good everywhere, I feel like. He's good grappling and good striking. He doesn't seem to have like a place where he takes the fight. Like, he's comfortable playing everyone else's fight and usually kind of getting the dub. But when you play these top guys, you got to make it your fight and have kind of a system in place. And I think
I agree with that take.
Yeah, that's actually a great take, because I do agree. He's one of the more well-rounded fighters we got, and he definitely will go anywhere. But like you said, when you get into these rankings, someone's going to have one elite skill, and they're going to try to lean on it. So now can Billy... On the flip side, with his well-roundedness, if he can just get a little better game planning, can he now lean on those, weaknesses of his, higher-ranked fighters, where it's like, okay, this guy's a wrestler, I can outstrike him. That's where he needs to not let that guy take it where he wants to go. I completely agree. But next fight.
Next fight, I fucking knew it. I knew Cheeto was going to knock out Frankie Edgar. I fucking knew Marlon Cheeto Vera was going to rock Frankie Edgar. Poor Frankie. I don't want to see it again, bro. That's it.
I hate the memes, dude. Where his face.
Front kick, bad, bro. Oh, front kick. What a beautiful placement. Right on the jaw. Went in and finished it up.
And I got to give a lot of credit to Cheeto, because everyone's obviously, again, that's one of those. In history, all you're going to remember are the memes and the gif of that front kick.
That was not an easy fight.
Not an easy fight. And against a legend like Edgar, putting in the work where he was throwing those front kicks to the body all day long. And he was setting up that high kick, and then he saw that one opportunity for it, and he took it. And things like that high-level, long-term, full-fight game planning, when you're against a legend, that proves to me, like, you're with the shits. You're legit. Like, just catching someone with something, anyone can do that. We see it on Contender Series every fucking week. But being able to truly plan on something and set something up and put in the work and put in the effort to set something up for that last moment that's going to get you that win really, truly shows me everything.
Facts.
That's all I got. Really anything else?
No.
It sucks because we didn't really get the moment because it was such a brutal knockout, but I was kind of hoping that this was it for Frankie Edgar and we could get him getting a good sign off to the fans.
Nah, he don't seem like the type that's going to do that.
Yeah.
He don't. I don't see him putting the gloves down and everyone being like, because he thinks that's a cop-out. I don't see him doing that.
Right, like a doctor's going to have to tell Frankie Edgar he's done.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and that's and I don't want to see that, but that's where I think it's going. He's a legend, first ballot Hall of Famer. There's nothing else he has to prove. At this point, I don't want to see him get his face kicked in anymore. It doesn't seem like a wild take. I mean,
no,
I don't know.
More than fair.
All right, let's hop into co-main.
Titles. Let's do
Title
it.
fight. We had Rose Namajunas, Weili Zhang, won by split decision by Rose. And still, I was wrong in this fight. Weili gave a good account for herself. She improved in a lot of areas. But at the end of the day, when Rose got top control, her top control was better than anything Weili did in the fight. And that's why she won it. I don't think it was split. I think it should have been unanimous. I think Rose really put it on in the championship rounds as well. And there's something to be said about ground control. When you can control your opponent like that, that should add up over the course of a fight. As much as we kind of hate it, in this fight,
especially in a fight that's so razor thin.
Of this magnitude, for sure. And I think Rose should have won by unanimous. Weili did not win.
Weili couldn't. That's where I noted. I think people are going to see this fight, and I think Weili's going to have to really work on that. Because if she fights an Esparza or who's a really good wrestler in that division, what's her name?
No, but Esparza is a great example. That's the first one that comes to mind. I mean, I couldn't agree more.
They're gonna look at this fight and say, what's going on here?
I mean,
really, take her down. She has a real problem getting up, even from someone like Rose, who's like one of the daintier girls in the division. You would think.
I mean, even like a Mackenzie Dern could be a problem for her.
Yeah, and I think she's really strong, really aggressive on the feet. But if she doesn't work on getting up from those takedowns, it's going to be a problem for her in the future. And I don't think nobody tried to really do that to her.
Right. And like we said, she's been out here in Arizona working at Fight Ready. So, we called it. You can't learn Olympic level wrestling in a 5-week camp. But if she can now start building off that and she gets 2, 3, 4 camps in there, maybe that is part of the game. Her
takedown wrestling looked pretty good. I just don't think she was getting up from the back.
So, 2 things I want to say on this fight is that I don't like it was a split decision because, and I know you almost can't judge fights differently because they're championship fights, but I do. And this is also where I like one championship's full fight scoring better than round scoring. Because I truly believe if you are going to beat a champion, you have to rip the belt off their waist. That's it. You have to absolutely definitively say, no, I am the champion. They lost, I won. So the fact that this is a split decision just kind of, it sits bad in my mouth where it's like, oh, well, some of the close rounds might have gone to Weili. She kind of outstruck her. And it's like, no. Look at that fight. Did she beat the champ? And she did not. And that's it. Done and done. But my second take, which might contradict a bit of my first take, this is one of the first 2 fights that a champion's won. It was a contender and then the champion defended it, that I absolutely need the third fight. Like, I don't care that it's 2-0. We need a trilogy.
I think we need to see Weili versus Joanna before that shit.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
A fucking banger.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. We can, put a fight or 2 in between. There's definitely other talent in the top 5 that could fight Rose in the meantime. But at some point, we need this trilogy. Most times when it's 2-0, it's just like, hey, I never want to see this again.
That's a great segue because that's exactly how I feel about the main event. Kamaru Usman beat Colby Covington in a unanimous 5-round decision. It was a little different from the first fight. Colby came out a little less aggressive, was a little more worried of the power, then started to really bring it on in rounds 2, 3, and 4 a little bit. And it was a back and forth fight. It was close. I just think Usman.
Round 2 was the one where he got fucked up, though.
Yeah. No, I was wrong. But he came back from that. Right. He showed a lot of fucking heart.
Yeah.
See, 3, 4, and 5, he was bringing it to him.
That's what I kind of wanted to bring up with y'all because obviously I am a diehard Usman fan.
But I guess in your
I actually think this Usman performance was more impressive than the first performance. And everyone else was saying it was a closer.
I completely disagree because if you want to go off your one championship scoring, Colby may have won this fight.
I don't know. I really think that, he had.
I was worried for Usman, dude.
I was.
It was slippery as hell in there, so I couldn't tell if he was getting rocked or if he was slipping a lot. But bro, Colby was catching him for a while in third and fourth. I was like, oh shit! Like I was worried for Usman. I was like, I think I may lose this one. I may lose a lot of money here.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was a little bit of a more complete performance, and I did maybe it's just a sense of, I'm not gonna lie, because Usman has looked so invincible and so perfect. I think there's a sense of like when he gets hit, still seeing this dominance and seeing what he put on in the 5th round and still putting together that full championship performance when you're not just absolutely dominating. And that's what was so impressive to me, I feel like.
Yeah.
It killed me.
I was watching it, I'm like, rounds 1 and 2, I'm like, holy shit, Usman is whooping his ass. Colby got lucky that first fight. I don't even know what happened. And then I saw Colby coming out in the 3rd round, all starry-eyed, looking at the fucking stands. I'm like, this is over. And then Colby showed his fucking grit and really came through, and I was like, maybe Usman is beatable toward the end, is what I was saying.
that was my takeaway. That was literally my takeaway, is that if you have great high-level wrestling and great cardio, you might give this guy a problem.
Right.
I'm not saying you're going to beat him, but I don't know. It just smelled like, hey, if we can survive the first couple rounds and really bring it on 3 through 5 against this dude.
And it's so funny how just like, and I mean, I guess this is just how the world works, because you can spin everything whatever way your confirmation bias goes. In my mind, that actually gave me more confidence in Usman, because it's like, I was kind of waiting for that to happen. And like, shit, if someone could actually wrestle with him, if someone could actually go 5 rounds with him, if someone could actually put the volume on him, like, he's in trouble. And he proved that he can find a way out of that. And we've kept seeing out of his last 10 fights, every time he struggles with something slightly, he comes back 5 times better at that skill. So I just expect.
Going into this fight before it happened, I was like, Usman's improved way more. He's going to finish this fight faster, and he's going to be way better.
Yeah,
and
I do think
that way to me. Literally, I was like, I think Usman won, no doubt. I think he had 10-8 in the 2nd and probably won the 5th. I thought he for sure won. But I definitely think that first one was more impressive, digging deep in the 5th and getting that finish.
Right, and that's kind of where it's at, where I do think there was a little sense of he felt so comfortable in those first 2 rounds, and I think he kind of emptied the tank a little bit at the end of that 2nd round, and that sort of gave Colby a little bit of a second win, because, all right, Usman's that half step slower, but that's where I was so impressed to see what he did in that 5th and final. Like, hey, I'm still the fucking champ.
I'll tell you this. If that Usman shows up against Khamzat, he's taking it out.
We haven't seen Khamzat in a 2nd round, so I don't even know.
Yeah, I still
don't care.
Don't talk to me yet on Khamzat.
I'm just mark these words. If that Usman shows up against Khamzat, he's in trouble.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's my hot take.
Well, let's get right into it. That's a perfect. That's a perfect transition, Joe. Khamzat trying to get into the fights that was just canceled. Leon Edwards for Masvidal. Undisclosed injury.
That was going to happen, bro.
100.
I knew it was too good to be true.
He's going to fight Colby.
The second Colby lost, this undisclosed injury happens.
Colby comes out at the presser and says Jorge should pull out of this Leon Scott fight any way possible. Maybe he should fake an injury or something. We should fight in the early 2022. 3 days later, undisclosed injury. Jorge Masvidal.
That's where I'm like, bro, he could have, even if he would have beat Leon, nobody wants to see that Masvidal rematch versus Usman, so they might as well have done it anyways. What I'm thinking is, I don't think Masvidal was ever going to fight Leon. I think this is just an extra fuck you to him. He's like, yeah, get ready
to drag,
buddy. Keep going.
Just drag him through the mud.
Yeah, just because he didn't like him. I think Masvidal just said another just fuck you to him. I gave you the 3-piece and a soda. Take a fucking biscuit with it too. Here you go.
I could so see that.
Yeah, and right after that happened, Kamzat immediately called for the Leon fight. Bilal immediately called for the Leon fight. Bilal didn't get it.
Called for it.
Right. But did you see Wonderboy Thompson versus Bilal just got announced?
I did.
I am very interested in that matchup. I think that's a
Fight.
perfect matchup for both of those guys. Wonderboy's in a really weird spot in the division. Bye.
Wonderboy, man. I don't think Bilal's going to get close to him.
No, he's not going to even see it. He won't even see it.
Burns made it look kind of easy. Burns made it look easy, but Burns is a fucking beast. Bilal, I like Bilal too. I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. I almost see a Wonderboy finish, to be honest.
Yeah, death by 1,000 paper cuts, and then that one to just put him over the top in like the third round.
But
I can definitely see that. Yeah, I wouldn't hate it.
Tai Tuivasa fight got canceled, unfortunately. That's what I got in MMA news.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, it does open up the Chris Barnett fight, though.
Roxanne Modafferi against fucking Casey O'Neill. That's a solid fight.
I like that.
That should got announced.
That's going to be a high-level wrestling fight that casual fans will hate, but I'm very excited for that matchup.
I don't remember much news, to be honest. That the Masvidal thing kind of took everything away. I know there's a lot of drama between Gaethje and Islam right now. And then trying to be like, Islam should get title because he has 9 fights win streak. Whoop-de-whoop. He beat Thiago Moises and Drew Dober, so he should get a title shot. Like, bruh.
When the fuck did beating Thiago Moises get you a title shot?
Well, we'll hop into it because he's on this card.
Number 5 already. You should be counting your blessings, bro.
Bro, Thiago Moises ain't even on the fucking main card of this card we're about to do pre-fight diaries for. And you want a title shot off the back of that. No chance. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Pre-fight diaries.
Let's do it.
All right, first fight. We got Kennedy Nzechukwu, 9-1 out of Nigeria, taking on John Moon Jung, 14-2 out of Korea in the light heavyweight division. This is low-key a banger, dude. John Moon Jung was the guy who pieced up and drew.
The Kennedy beat the Oldsberg dude, right? These guy?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't bet against Jones. I don't.
Yeah, but he drew against Sam Alvey.
Yeah, this cat drew against Sam Alvey. He basically gave up against Sam Alvey. He was piecing up Sam Alvey for about a round and a half, and then he just gassed out and started hugging Sam Alvey. So I have zero respect left for Yoon Jung. I'm completely out. Give my boy Kennedy. He's going to finish the job that Sam Alvey clearly couldn't finish.
No, this smells like we were so high on Olberg and being like, yo, Carlos about to fuck up Nzechukwu. And then, like, Nzechukwu fucks him up. So then we ride Nzechukwu the next fight for him to just boof us again.
That's what it smells with Sam Alvey.
That's exactly what it smells like, dude.
I don't bet against Jones. I don't bet against Jones, and I'm not going to start. I'm going Jung.
I'm kind of leaning that on this fight because we were so against Nzechukwu last time, and now we're just going to ride it blindly, like, because he beat our boy. What if our boy's not that good? Like, then what? And so it's like,
speaking of which, and I don't want to go too back into it, has anyone seen Carlos?
I think he got a fight announced like 2 days after you asked me if anyone had seen Carlos.
Okay, because I just haven't seen him in any of the boys' real training videos. Maybe he was.
Let's see. Just keep yapping for a little bit. I'm gonna do some research.
Yeah, I'm already on it. It's Fabio Turan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, facts.
Cool. He's got a fight.
The Water Buffalo, right?
Perfect.
The Water Buffalo guy.
Oh, okay. That's actually an interesting fight.
That guy's like 0-2, but yeah.
That's why it's interesting because like both of these guys I was interested in, and if one of them loses, I can know I don't have to be interested in them anymore.
Fair.
But let's see.
What's some odds real quick? Oh shit! Yeah, let's get.
Yoon Jung actually a -125 favorite. Kennedy Nzechukwu is even. So I will take my even money. I will double up to start this card, and this has never bit me in the ass before.
No. Let's hop in the next fight. We're talking lightweights. We got Mark Diakese, 14-4 out of England, taking on Rafael Alves, 19-10 out of Brazil. I gotta be honest with you, this fight doesn't really do anything for me. Rafael Alves, 19-10. Mark DeCasey, kind of like little flashy, but he's not really. I don't see him being a champion. No disrespect.
That's fair.
Could he turn into an entertaining highlight guy? Maybe, but I just don't know on this cat.
That's fair.
I
actually kind of like Diakiese because I think he's had actually a rough start to the UFC, and basically all of his losses, all 4 of his losses, are against fighters that I really like and really respect. Drakkar Klose, Dan Hooker, Nasrat Haqparast, and Rafael Fiziev. Like, nothing to sneeze at.
Mark should get this, but he does seem to like have a really good first round and then gets kind of figured out. So
he gives like big Cub Swanson vibes of like he might be the best in the fucking gym and the best at this and that, but when the lights come on, fam, it's just not him. Like that's what he just gives me vibes of, and I kind of hope I'm wrong because he's flashy and he does have some nice striking. It's very beautiful to watch, but I don't know.
Yeah,
there's something telling me.
But that's kind of why I like this fight as like an early prelim type fight, where against a Rafael Alves who's kind of been around, but I don't think it's that legit. Someone who I think that he should handle.
Not one person Rafael Alves has fought.
No, he's been more around. I think he only has like 3 fights in the UFC.
He's got 1, and he lost to Demir Ismagulov. He won on guillotine on Contender Series. And this cat's supposed to take on DeCasey. No chance of this fight.
And I'm surprised. The odds are still pretty low. DeCasey's a -190 favorite. Rafael Alves
that's
plus
a sweet spot, fam.
I know.
That's money in the
But I thought he would be a much higher favorite. I thought I'd have to buy him at like 250, 300. So
fair.
Give me DeCasey here, easy money.
Next fight?
Yep.
We got Courtney Cast Iron Casey, all-time nickname. 9-9 out of the USA, taking on Liana Jojua, 8-4 out of Georgia in the females flyweight division. This is a firecracker of a fight, yo.
I disagree. I'm kind of
really. Why?
I think one of them. I think maybe it'll be Casey. I think one of them gonna lay on the other one, and we're gonna hopefully we'll see a sub. Is what I'm hoping.
Yeah. I could see that, but the reason I'm excited is just 8-4 prospect that people are like, hey now, let's see what she's got out of Georgia against someone that's 9-9 that's like proven in this division and like been around and we know is tough as nails. I mean, so that's why it excites me. But I kind of agree with you when it plays out. I could see a hump and dump for 3
It might
rounds.
not be a great fight, but I think this might low-key be Jojo's last chance, to be honest, because her 2 like semi-legitimate chances. Sarah Moras and Miranda Maverick. She lost those chances. Now it's like 99 Courtney Casey, who, like we said, she gonna give you a tough fight. She is a tough fighter, but like has been beaten by pretty much anyone that's ranked. Like this is a fight you have to win if you have any reason to stay in the UFC.
That's fair. What are the odds? There's no way 9-9 is favored. I'm sorry, but like, come on.
way.
She's probably a big favorite.
I bet she
Minus 240 for Cast Iron Casey. And I just want to throw it out there. I actually think she's going to win this fight. And when she does, she lives in Mesa about, I don't know, a few miles that way. Casey, open invite to the podcast. I know you're listening. Come on up.
And I think I kind of disagree. I think we're going to see Liana get a submission here.
Facts.
Interesting. I mean, I can definitely see it. Like you said, there's going to be a lot of wrestling and I think kind of scrambling exchanges. So definitely going to be opportunities for that sub. If you're taking Joshua by sub, you're getting a plus 600 right there.
Like that.
That's sneaky. If you like the underdog there, that's not a bad, take a shot early on the card. I don't hate that. Next fight.
We got Sean the Sniper Woodson, 8-1 out of the USA, taking on Colin Anglin, 8-2, also out of the USA in the featherweight division. This is a very interesting fight because Sean Woodson is like as tall as it gets for 145, lanky ass motherfucker, very good with his striking and his kick range and his control, but he's taking on a guy off Contender Series in Anglin who's kind of a savage. I kind of like his style, but isn't he coming off a loss? Yeah, he lost to Melsik Baghdasaryan.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Woodson all day. I'm just trying to decide if Woodson can finish him or not. I don't.
I kind of agree with that take.
I'll probably have Woodson in some parlays, but I do not know. I want to say it goes the distance, but I could see Woodson sneaking in a finish in the second or third.
Well, you may have to pick that finish or decision because he's a minus 335 favorite, plus 255 on Anglin. The only thing that I'm curious on is obviously Woodson's shown great control of that range, but like the little bit we've seen out of Anglin was that he's a very aggressive fighter and he kind of likes to get into your business. So maybe he can make that range not matter. And where he got in trouble against Bagdasarian is when he closed that distance, he just got taken down and dominated on the ground. And I don't think Woodson really has that game. So just seeing this big of a favorite and I can see a path to victory for Anglin, that scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I think there is a path to victory. I mean, I think the one downside of Woodson is sometimes when you're so big, everyone's like, "Oh, that's great. You have great leg dexterity. You can try and throw up triangles and this and that." When you're so long and lanky, it's hard to get off your back. So if someone can really take you down and just try to control you there, it's hard to like bridge to your knees. It's hard to shrimp up when you're so long like he is. So I think that's the path to victory by Anglin.
If I'm Anglin, I'm trying
to defend the takedown because his arms are dragging against the mat.
No, it's easier said than done. I'm not trying to act like it's some super easy task here, but that's the one path to victory that I've seen so far. Yeah. Nobody's starching Sean Woodson.
I don't know how much Anglin will be really taking him down, but I could absolutely see. I mean, he's going to try to. I think he wins this fight, and it's going to be grimy. I think he wins this fight against Cage. He's got to get his chest on his chest and his chin under his chin and dirty box. I think that's the best way to beat Woodson in this fight for him.
Yeah. Or like we seen in Rosa, catch him with some sneaky fucking sub or whatever.
Right. Definitely. Next fight,
we got Cynthia Calvillo, 9-3-1 out of the USA, taking on Andrea Lee, 12-5 in the female flyweight division. I just want to say, like, Cynthia Calvillo just fought Jessica Andrade. And I know she lost, but you're going to throw her Andrea Lee next?
Yeah.
That don't seem right.
I like Calvillo all day on this. I agree, dude. 100%.
That just don't sit right with me.
I don't like when we're all on the same takes. It makes for less, hatred and fun podcast, but I completely agree. And I am shocked on the odds. Minus 134 on Cynthia Calvillo.
Oh, yeah. Finally, something.
Stop it, dude. No. Why? Dude, there's no way. We're all this confident and the odds are 134.
Yeah, and
there's got to be something wrong.
KGB Lee is a tough fighter. She's definitely, she can scrap, but I think Cynthia is just going to get her hands on her and just, ragdoll her. Whatever the fuck she wants.
Ferry, Lauren Murphy, Joan Calderwood. I don't know, fam.
Andrea Lee's tough enough. Now, this is one of those that, I don't know if Calvillo's going to finish her because Andrea Lee is basically that fighter that's tough enough and not going to give you anything, So that's where she got, Lauren Murphy basically dominated her, but it ended up being a split decision because Lee is just scrappy enough to just, make it ugly and make it hard to judge. So that at least scares me a little bit in the odds.
But decision.
Probably.
Nah.
But that's the thing is I'm not confident enough because I do think she could slip a sub at some point. And that's where it's kind of...
I think Calvillo's my lock. I'm going to put her in a bunch of parlays.
Calvillo money line
at that price point, come on.
All right, let's get it. Next fight.
I will say that's actually crazy. Calvillo's only a minus 134 favorite. By decision, only plus 135. You're really not getting that much more juice. I'd say just stick with the money line. Yeah, just stick with that money line there. Next fight, let's do it.
We got Thiago Moises, 15-5 out of Brazil, taking on Joel Canelo Alvarez, 18-2 out of Spain in the lightweight division.
I mean, respect to Alvarez for being one fight away from the top 5. He must be the next biggest prospect. If he wins this one, he fights Islam or the champ, whoever you want to give after Thiago. after Moises.
Alvarez. Yikes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
I don't even know who this dude is really. Like I just looked up his thing, and he has 2 subs in his 2 fights, which is pretty impressive. I think they're both 2 first-round subs, so that's why they gave him Moises. But Moises just went like 4 or 5 rounds with Islam. I gotta go Moises here. I don't know. This other dude's too untested to me.
and I don't know if this will come into
He's
play.
1-3 in the UFC. He's 3-1. Sorry, 3-1 in the UFC is Alvarez.
Right. And I don't know if it'll come into play in this fight, but I gotta just say this. I think I'm calling cap on Thiago Moises because this dude came to the UFC, was supposed to be this unbelievable jiu-jitsu guy. Every picture you see in this asshole is in a fucking gi. And this dude hasn't even gotten close to a sub since he's shown up to the UFC. So, what are we doing? Did he?
That's the only fight I know he subbed somebody. I think it's the only sub he has.
Oh, yeah, he got that ankle lock. He did get the ankle lock on Michael Johnson. So he has 1 sub. But, like, a lot of decisions. And then he was subbed by Islam. So, like, I'm calling cap on this dude. I don't know if it'll affect this fight. I don't really know Joel Alvarez. But, man, at plus 195 for Alvarez, I thought he'd be a little bigger of a... If he was a little bigger of a dog,
Alvarez got more subs in less time. I'm
Yeah.
taking Alvarez.
Facts!
This is going to be a telling fight from Moises. But I think we're going to see a Moises decision once again.
I want to see a new country like emerge in the MMA space as like, hey, we're fucking legit. So why not Spain?
Yeah.
Like,
especially that he's like, I kind of like it too that he is sort of a, jiu-jitsu and a grappling type guy because we really don't see a lot of them from Western Europe. Usually the fighters out of Spain or Portugal or, England, that they're usually boxer based or kickboxing based. So I am interested in that. Next fight.
we got Song Yadong, 17-5. 17-5-1 out of China, taking on Julio Arce, 17-4 out of the USA in the men's bantamweight division. Fellas, what are opening bell thoughts?
This is going to be absolute chaos, but I can't get a read.
Why is it a banger?
Bro.
Because, like, instantly I was kind of like, I don't care.
Yeah, both these guys just fucking bring it.
Dong always brings a scrap. And then, what's his name? Julio Arce. I remember he had a pretty solid fight against me and Hakeem, and it was all stand-up. These guys are going to throw down. And I think we're going to see a decision once again. I'm leaning Song Yadong.
Yeah, I kind of want to
Julio
take
Arce
Song
has had a
Yadong, but I'm
trilogy
not
with
going to
Brian
lie.
Kelleher, if that changes any of your thoughts.
Not really, but
He's 2-1 in that trilogy.
the thing that does change my thoughts and has completely poisoned my mind is that 2018 Julio Arce versus Dan Ige fight. And that was probably the worst fight of Dan Ige's career, and everything has been good for Dan Ige since then. But that fight has just stuck in my fucking head. And now anytime he gets someone like a Song Yadong that's just going to be a war, I just kind of assume he's going to win it. And it fucks with my head. So I really don't know which way I'm going to lean on it. The odds are pretty close. Song Yadong's minus 137, plus 110 for Julio Arce.
I'm taking Song Yadong in this fight.
I want to, but there's something in the back piece of my brain that's just like, remember when he beat Dan Ige?
No, I'm taking Song Yadong. I think he's going to drag this out and try and make it a war.
Yadong's got some notable wins. I think he beat Marlon Vera.
Yep.
So you beat Cheeto. That's a pretty big one. He beat Casey Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he lost to Kyler Phillips, but I mean, Kyler Phillips is, in my opinion, a slightly different level than these guys.
Yeah.
I think if Song Yadong
And
can
it's
take some
different style.
takedowns and keep it grimy, he's got a hell of a chance to win. He's got a great right hand. I could see it. I'm backing Song Yadong.
I'm curious. My hot take on this is I know I was like, I can't pick anything in this thing.
Song Yadong by KO.
Song Yadong KO in the third round plus 1,600. I don't know why. I think it's just going to be a firefight, and we're all going to think it's going to go to decision, and then he's going to catch one of those big right hands. Plus 1,600 if you're crazy enough. Next fight.
Next fight, we got Miguel Baeza. Isn't this guy Chocolate Thunder?
No.
Caramel Thunder. Miguel Baeza. Yep. 10-1 out of the USA, taking on Chaos Williams. 12-2, also out of the USA in the men's welterweight division. Fellas, what do we think?
Oh, this is damn near fight of the night. I see it. I mean, Miguel Baeza just had that war with Ponzinibbio, and I love that fight. And that showed to me he's ready. And
Yeah,
Williams is a fucking dog. He knocks everybody out. But when he doesn't knock him out, I think he's going to have some trouble. I think he may get picked apart here.
right. But honestly, I think Chaos has, we definitely called him out from the jump of kind of like that just a knockout guy. And I think in his last couple fights, we've definitely seen a little bit of improvement. And I actually am worried for Baeza. After the war he just went with Ponzinibbio, if he tries to fight a similar fight against Chaos Williams, he's going to wake up in the hospital. Like, you can't just stand in a phone booth with Chaos Williams like that. He's going to find it right on your chin or one of those fucking, highlight spinning whatever the fuck that kick was.
I think
So
if Chaos doesn't win in the first round, this is Baeza all day.
I agree. I think I would bump that up to at least a round and a half. I think Chaos can at least, maybe have a little power left in the second, but I do agree if he can drag this into deep waters. But that's what I'm saying. That's where he can't go ahead and just try to go to war like he did with Ponzinibbio because he'll never see that third round. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I'm actually a little. Are you surprised with this? Minus 148 for Baeza, plus 120 on Chaos.
No, that's exactly where I would have put that. I think Baeza should be favored. Shouldn't be that favored by that much though. So
that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I know, everyone's clearly high on him after that Ponzinibbio fight, but I thought that, I just thought Chaos has. I mean, both are pretty green in the sport. Minus 148 for Baeza. Plus 120 for Williams. So I thought Williams has a few more fights in the UFC. We've seen a little more out of him. I thought it'd be at least closer. I mean, it's not crazy favorite or anything. But who you got now? What's it taste like? What's it smell like?
I got Chaos early or Baeza later. I think Chaos comes in, guns blazing, trying to get him out of there with the right hand quickly. And if that shit ain't laying clean, I think Baeza's got a few more tools in the shed to then finish him in the second or third round.
Oh, you think Baeza could get a finish late?
Yeah, I don't see this fight going the distance.
Decision. I see Baeza third round finish or decision.
I think someone's getting KO'd regardless, and I almost think it's first round Chaos Williams, third round Baeza. Someone's going to bed.
Chaos Williams in the first round would be plus 450. I think there's a lot of value in that. And then Baeza in the third round would be plus 1,000. So you're getting some decent 10-1 odds there. If you really think you can get that finish, which, yeah, I could definitely see Chaos kind of gassing out to the end, but I don't know if he'll have enough to finish him. He couldn't really, he didn't look great in that third round against Ponzinibbio. Different style of fight, much more volume, but I don't know.
All right, let's hop in the next fight. We got Felicia Spencer, 8-3 out of Canada, taking on Leah Letson, 5-1 out of USA in the female 145 division. I'm going to let you guys go for a little bit.
Leah Letson?
Exactly my thoughts.
Yeah, I really don't understand this fight. I think Felicia's a decent prospect. Obviously has had a little bit of struggles when she's gotten thrown to kind of the wolves, but
Leah Letson lost to Macy Chason in the Ultimate Fighter Season 28.
Semifinals.
In the semifinals. Then came back to fight in the finale and beat Julia Stoliarenko by split decision in 2018 and has not fought since.
And weird fact with that one too. She also had a UFC contract when she went into the UFC, into the Ultimate Fighter. She already was signed by the UFC and then was put on the Ultimate Fighter. So I don't know how I feel about that.
You know what this song makes me want to do, or this fight makes me want to do? It makes me want to bump the song Murder Music by Snoop. Because this is going to be a fucking murder. That's honestly what I think. We're talking someone that's only lost to Norma Dumont, Amanda Nunes, and Chris Cyborg. And she's going to lose to somebody that's 5-1?
Yeah, see, now the only thing is
5-2 and hasn't fought since 2018. No chance this happens. Yeah, fuck. This is my lock of the night. Fuck this other.
So here's the tough thing: Felicia Spencer's a minus 335 favorite.
That's fine.
So
that's not that outrageous.
No,
it's bad, but it's not like.
It terrifies me because if
Leah Letson
somehow wins, a lot of parlays are gonna die.
That's fair. I just think this is going to be a murdering. I don't see it otherwise. No disrespect to Letson, but I think Spencer's fought the who's who.
Mm-hmm. Next fight.
Someone who's also fought the who's who. We're talking about Ben Rothwell. He's back and he's fighting 39-13, and he's in the co-main event taking on Marcos Rogerio de Lima, 18-7-1 out of Brazil in the heavyweight division. This is kind of an interesting fight. What do we got?
This is one of my locks.
Oh, boy.
Ben Rothwell all day. And for a few reasons. One, Ben Rothwell's been in these co-mains and all this stuff. He's experienced. He looks in really, really good shape. One part. Two, if you look at Marcos de Lima's record, he wins.
You are stepping on my takes, Cap. You're stepping on my takes, B.
He wins or loses. So it's like
he has been win-loss since.
And this is on a
win-loss. He has been win-loss since 2014, and he won his last fight. God, P. The one thing I actually had prepared for this podcast was my 3 reasons why Ben Rothwell was going to win this fight.
What? You think I'm going to miss a stat like that?
This is where the streak ends. De Lima. Get this money.
Oh, hell no.
Not a fucking chance. Ben is locked in for this.
I got to go against you guys.
Bro, we're getting Rothwell at minus 155. That is sweet spot right down the middle. Easy money.
And I think the fight could be close.
It's that close for a reason.
It'll be a questionable decision possibly too. But
De Lima looks like he's off the juice. And you're trying to tell me that fucking Rothwell's in shape?
It doesn't matter. No, that's exactly it. Because it's like that when you see that juice dude show up to the barbecue and you're like, oh, he looks like the toughest motherfucker out there. And that dude starts running his mouth.
We're in the UFC and shit can fucking happen. That's why I'm taking this guy. You guys are all in big belly fucking.
Exactly. Because he's that big uncle that when that young juiced up kid starts running his mouth at the barbecue, he stands up and it's like, what are you going to do, old man? And he puts his fucking lights out.
I'm trying to find the picture.
Let's do it. He does not put his lights out.
It might be a decision.
All right, then.
It might be.
I'm just doing a day. But I think it's going to be interesting, but.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
For Rothwell.
You're looking in good shape. And I like that picture is a little blurry, so regardless, I'm just saying you're looking in good shape.
All right, fair. But how does he win this? How does he win this fight? Like, what's his best path to victory?
I think he's gonna wrestle
this dude
and get his hands on him early. Yeah, I think he's gonna wrestle.
He gets subbed all the time, blood. Okay, yeah, he's in good shape. Never mind.
Yeah,
maybe I am rocking Ben Rothwell. Fuck.
That's honestly
Ben Rothwell. Ben in that shape.
The only thing that really scares me is I'm like, I don't know how I want to bet that. I think I just have to take his money line and not get greedy because I can sell myself on Ben Rothwell by decision plus 250. I can sell myself on Ben Rothwell by knockout or TKO plus 375. And I can sell myself on Ben Rothwell by submission plus 375. So I could really see it going any way, but I do see him getting his hand raised. No doubt. Anything else, Neil?
I don't got shit on this fight,
The
dude.
main event.
Let's hop in the main event. We got Max Blessed Holloway, 22-6 out of the USA, the Hawaiian gangster, taking on Yair Rodriguez, 13-2 out of Mexico in the featherweight division.
You know what?
Absolute cracker of a fight. Oh, he brought it out, the action figure.
That's exactly what I was just about to do. Is when the CKB boys are on or certain fighters are on, Matty P lets us go off. But the stage is yours, my friend. Do your damn thing.
Bro, this fight, honestly, the odds are stupid. You've seen it everywhere. It's like minus 700 or 800 for Holloway. But this fight's scary. This is a scary fight. It's Yair Rodriguez, and I'm scared because I'm a huge Max fan. But yeah, I think it's a bad matchup for Yair overall. The pressure and the volume that Holloway brings, I think he's going to close the distance. He's going to be right in his face. He's going to, as long as he doesn't get caught by something, which Yair does catch people. So
That's kind of where
I see a wash.
That's exactly where I see it. Where I do agree, Holloway is definitely a favorite, and that's kind of like you said, all over Twitter. It's the crazy odds, and it's a horrible matchup for Yair. But in some ways, I don't know if someone's going to beat him. It comes down to: do you think Rodriguez has the power to knock out Max Holloway? That's the first thing, and then if you have the power, can you get your hands on him? But he's going to be right there,
Yeah.
and that's what scares me with this big of a favorite. Like, I hate to say it, and I hate to do it to you, Pete, but I think I have to throw some money on Rodriguez at plus 450, especially I think I might do it. Let's see what it is by knockout, because that's the only way he's going to get it. Yair by knockout is plus 850. I mean, I don't see how I don't put some money on that, because I just think there is a chance that in one of these weird Max firefights, he just somehow gets a weird. It's got to be something weird.
As somebody,
it's Max Holloway. It's got to be weird. But
I feel like
I don't know.
he got his weird one with Korean Zombie. That's what
That's
I'm
fair. That's fair.
as somebody who is not a Max Holloway fan, I would speak to the Max Holloway fan base. You have nothing to be worried about. I think it's going to be fucking absolute cruise control in this
How
fight.
could you not be a Max Holloway fan?
I'm not, because I feel like he's always fought people I've liked more, so I'm just not really a fan. And now at this point, his whole it is what it is annoying.
Yeah, I'm
not a fan. But
It's the cater fight.
no, it's the McGregor fight back in the day when I was at that shit in Boston. It's
Yep.
the fucking Volkanovski fights. It's Brian Ortega at the time. It's Jose Aldo. It's all these guys that I liked more.
No, it was. I mean, for me, it was that McGregor fight that started it, and then it was just like, so by default, I was like, all right, I don't like this guy, and then it's hard to not like that guy. So I've never gotten far enough to call myself a fan, but I like that guy.
I'm just telling you.
I love Volk, but I also love Max, so it's a hard one for me whenever they fight. I root Holloway, but I can
You have nothing to be worried about this
fight.
fight.
1-1 in my eyes. I think Volk washed him. I didn't wash him, but he definitely won that first fight. I mean, if you'd say otherwise, it's kind of crazy to me. But that second fight, I think Max did win, but it's part of those you got to rip the belt off the champ to be the champ, like you're saying.
Completely agree. No, and
I would give that to Max, though, because I thought he did have more damage in the rounds. He dropped it once. But I would love to see it again. I want to see, but Max got a lot of fun fights. He's only 29.
that blows my mind. That blows my mind that Max is only 29. Like,
Dude.
He's lived 3 lifetimes.
Yo,
Now,
4th round stuff.
I did sort of want to. Okay, that was going to be my next question.
I think Yair is
with
going to
5
have
rounds.
fun segments in this fight and fun moments that everyone's going to oh shit, and we're all going to be hyped and his stock's not going to go anywhere. But at the end of the day, Max Holloway landed 558 significant strikes and lit his ass up like a Christmas tree. And fucking by the 4th round, it was donezo because the doctor stopped it because his eye was swollen like mercury. So
to the round, agree.
Yeah, that's honestly how I think it completes the 4th round, and the doctor's like, no more. This guy took a beating. We're done here.
Interesting.
Or like the corner throws it in. I totally see that.
All right, well, let's get you guys some odds, see if there is a
Like
win.
after
You
the
can
round,
actually
he
bet
can't get
this.
back to his stool, like some shit like that. But I think he completes the round.
So, Max to win in over 3.5 rounds. And again, all our odds are on Barstool Sportsbook. They actually got some cool stuff on this fight. Max over 3.5 rounds and winning -159. So that's not a terrible odds if you think you're going to get the win later. Yeah. Max to win by decision would be even, +100. And Max in the 4th round is +850. So if both of y'all are that confident that you can snipe that around, I think a little juicy
I'm
on
down for
that.
that one, honestly, bro. Because I think it's like round one's a little bit like, who knows? Anybody's round. Then it's like Max is reading them. Second round is all him. Third round is just his. And then it's like, can this cat survive?
Right.
And I don't think he can. I think he's still going to put up a good show for himself. Everyone's going to be like, I'm a Yair fan. But at the end of the day, wasn't good enough for
And
me.
I ain't telling y'all how to spend your money, and I'll never tell you
I'm gonna
how
hammer
to
that.
bet responsibly. But I think the way to do it, if you truly think Max is going to get the finish, you put a heavy bet on Max by KO, +130, still getting a little juice there. And then you take the fucking Nil and Matty P, round 4, +850.
Round 4, Max Holloway, baby. Hot take. Let's get this money.
I love it. Appreciate y'all. Much love we have.